Hello everyone. I wanted to share a video today to announce some more details of our reopening plans. Thanks to everybody who tuned into our town hall that took place earlier this week. Since that time, our faculty's been on site doing professional development and getting training in our reopening plans. And we also had a school board meeting this week on Wednesday to talk about reopening plans. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, to familiarize yourself with the information that went out earlier this week regarding our phased-in reopening. And today I'm going to focus on talking about our opening plans that are planned to start on September 8th. I'd like to go back and address the roadmap that we talked about a little bit at our town hall on Tuesday. And that is, since we found out that COVID was here and a pandemic in our world, kind of what's happened from the school's standpoint. So over the summer, working on getting plans, really those plans were made with the understanding that we would have COVID and hoping that we would be in a small number of community spread and we could come back. On August 3rd, we received information that Ada County was in Category 3, a significant community spread, and that schools were being recommended to open virtually. Additionally, the plans that we had in place that had been built all summer called for virtual learning in a Category 3. That same day, Bishop Peter Christensen, Sarah Quillisi, Chuck Lawrence, and Chancery staff met to discuss our Catholic schools reopening and recommended that Catholic schools open in a phased-in approach, which St. Ignatius agreed to do. We informed our staff and our board on the 4th and our families on the 5th that we would be taking that phased-in approach to reopening. 5 days later on the 10th, the details of those reopening plans were sent to families, and our frequently asked questions document was added to the website. The next day was a live town hall, thanks to everybody who tuned into that. On the 12th, our school board met to discuss further reopening plans that would start after the time that was already presented, so starting on September 8th. This week, our staff has been on site for professional development training and for reopening plans. And then today, August 14th, we're announcing the plans that will take place following September 8th. I want to bring up a couple knowns as we move through these new plans. First of all, we know that COVID-19 is present and with a substantial spread in our community at this time, and that we may be in a Category 3 level of community spread for a long period of time. I highlight those in yellow because those knowns are new. These were not knowns earlier in the summer when most of our plans were being created. What we have always known and what we continue to know is that face-to-face instruction and social interaction is the best thing for kids. We also know that we are a tuition-based private school, so we know that not only do our families have a choice to attend, but our families make sacrifices to attend St. Ignatius. We know that many families have 2 working parents, and they're burdened when students are not on site learning in the building. We also know that there are many different views in our own community about reopening the school, and we hear those differing views all around our world and our county and our state and our nation at this time. But we have 2 key goals in mind, and that is to keep our community safe and to keep our students learning on site as long as possible. Now, I emphasize that that goal really includes avoiding long-term shutdowns and or quarantine. So all of the goal of keeping students on site learning as long as possible. We know that if we can avoid a long-term shutdown or quarantine by having plans in place that minimize that possibility, that our students are actually going to get on-site learning for longer. So as of today, the reopening timeline, and this first part was already announced earlier this week, that August 18th through 21st, our students are on site to meet the teachers and learning protocols. So that's next week, and our preschool will be opening in full. The following 2 weeks, our K-8 students will be virtual learning. September 8th through October 2nd, we're going to be going into our on-site hybrid plan. And in that plan, which I'll explain in more detail here in a second, every student is on site, and we're doing that in half days by what house they're in. The goal is that by October 5th, we would be able to offer full on-site instruction for all students. So what does this hybrid plan look like? What it looks like is in the morning, the students who are in House North are in the building from 8:30 to 11:30, and our House South is completing virtual learning. We'll close the building for an hour in the middle of the day to clean and disinfect, and then we'll welcome in-house south into the afternoon from 12:30 to 3:30, while house north goes home and completes their virtual learning. I want to point out that in our original operational plan, we had week on, week off learning. And again, those plans were made with knowns that were different than what we know now. So there are some benefits to this different approach that we acknowledge and we hope are going to be better for our families and for our kids. So first of all, that only half the students are present at a time, allowing for greater social distancing and better implementation and monitoring of our new safety protocols. Another benefit is that all students are going to receive in-person instruction each day, which will reduce the burden on parents for helping facilitate remote learning. I want to emphasize that in this plan, when students are on site with us, that's when they're receiving their face-to-face instruction, and when they're home is when they're doing their practice and their blended learning software. So the hope is that our families and our parents aren't having to moderate as much of the learning as would happen if we were fully remote. Teachers are delivering daily content in person to those who want that. There's more consistency for relationship building and routines for increased behavioral growth. Students and families have consistency each day. This is a big one, with no lunch periods, where masks are being removed and students are eating lunch potentially in the classroom. Without that lunch period, we think that we have a greater chance of minimizing the spread. Another thing is with students transitioning back to school, this is requiring our students to only wear a mask for half the day, which allows them to get used to those new protocols. We hope that this is easier for most of our families arranging childcare, also acknowledging that everyone's childcare needs are different and pickups can be difficult. We hope that this offers consistency in learning. So the house system has been designed since the beginning of our operating plans to split so that families all stay within the same house. So if you have multiple children, you fall in either house south or house north. And you've seen your class assignments now, so you'll be able to identify based on your children's homeroom teacher whether you're in house north or house south. I want to point out a couple more things for families as you kind of process and consider these new plans. First of all, I strongly encourage families to consider the tuition relief program if the implications of COVID are causing a strain, a financial burden on you in any way. That program is designed to be in addition to our financial aid program, specifically for families who have immediate aid. And so if you have any questions about that, I encourage you to reach out to the front office, reach out to our business office. We're here to help, and we know that this is really difficult for our families, especially for many of our families who need childcare when their students can't be on the site the whole time. So please reach out and inquire about that program. We know right now that all schools are doing different forms of virtual and hybrid learning, and we're trying to learn from best practices and continue to seek our MAJIS and make sure we're doing the best job we can. So just keep, we're so grateful for the support that we're receiving, and we just ask you to reach out and ask for help when you need it with that. There will be an updated question and answer, a frequently asked question form up on our website early next week. So we've been working on getting all of the questions answered that were submitted to that form throughout the week. There are many questions, and we thank you for submitting those. So you will see, please check in Monday or Tuesday, and you should see that up on the website. And you can continue to add questions to that as well. So to do for families moving forward, 3 things. First of all, I sent out an email today. Please take the technology survey that went there so we can make a plan for if your family needs technology at home. If you do have a personal device that works, we encourage you to use that, as all of our devices that were ordered earlier this summer have not yet arrived. So we aren't yet set up to be one-to-one. So we will be at some point early this school year. But in the meantime, if you have a personal device and can use it, please do. And by all means, if you need one, fill out the survey and we'll make sure that you get a device to take home. Second, attend your students' on-site session next week. So for kindergarten through 2nd grade families, 1 parent and 1 student are coming at your designated time. And for our 3rd through 8th grade students, you'll be attending in a small group of about 5 or less. And in that meeting, we need students only, and everybody make sure you bring your mask and wear your uniform and celebrate your first day of school in this very strange and new environment. We're all very excited to welcome you. And then finally, if you do have a question about anything I've discussed now or a previous question about our reopening plans, please complete the question and answer survey that came out earlier this week and submit a question so we can update it on the frequently asked questions. Again, I just want to thank our amazing community for the support and for rallying together during this time. My goal, and I'll state it over and over again, is to keep our community safe and to get these kids in the building learning on site as much as possible for as long as possible. I can't wait to see you all. Again, I welcome all of our new families to the St. Ignatius family. We're here to support you, and we can't wait to meet your kids. God bless everybody. Take care.